This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, and we're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will bring you the latest Iowa Ag News headlines, and then we will hear from Dan Hellstrom and the team at the U.S. Meat Export Federation about a recent visit to South Korea. It's time now for our closing market summary.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined by Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Tyler, not a pretty day for the markets yesterday. At midday today was much more mixed. How did we close?
Close positive on the day in both corn and beans. Wheat still kind of struggling after yesterday's sell-off or reversal from those highs Friday and early on Monday. But seeing a little bit of strength and some support come into the corn market, which was kind of a welcome sign after just kind of some stale markets for the last week.
Tyler, we also got the announcement yesterday about the guidance for the GREET model for sustainable aviation fuel, and we know that's going to factor heavily in the future in the ag marketplace, but what's going to be the immediate impact? Is that going to kind of fly under the radar as far as the ag marketplace is concerned?
I don't think it'll have a big effect. You know, what we got yesterday was guidance on 40B, and believe me, nowhere near an expert on any of this. But 40B has to do with how the government will treat biofuels in 23 and 24. Well, we obviously can't change the way we farmed in 2023, and it's going to be pretty tough to go in and change your agronomic practices in 2024. Seems how most guys are in the process of putting the crop in the ground. So probably not going to see a lot of change. What we really need to see is how they're going to handle 45Z, which is the measure of the IRS tax code, and how they will treat that ethanol and the feedstocks that it comes from, and we really didn't get any guidance on 45Z. Now that's the one that's probably going to play the biggest role, because that will roll out in 2025. So I think when we get more information there, we'll have a better idea. Who knows what was going on? Some have said it's just the government kicking the can down the road. It might have been a way to kind of gauge what the response would be, both from farm industry participants as well as environmental groups and all that kind of stuff. Kind of a soft landing, so to speak, where they can kick it out, see what the how people take it and what the feel is, and maybe get some comments back, and then kind of start their guidance for 45Z.
And from the big picture as well, we know that there's only the one plant in the entire country, and that's in Georgia, that is making the sustainable aviation fuel right now. And that's being made from ethanol that is brought in from Brazil. So there's not even the capability of using that corn here in the country to, I guess, be implemented into SAF until they move that infrastructure down the road as well and improve that infrastructure. Tyler, let's go over to the other side of the ag marketplace in the livestock complex. What did we see with the cattle and hogs today?
It's kind of an ugly day. Started off kind of poor, rebounded through midday, and about mid-session today, markets just kind of fell apart. I heard some rumors, anyhow, that the Biden administration government officials are tracking some 100 people that currently might have H5N1. Saw some deals that possibly it was found some positive tests of meat. Remember, they're going to start testing ground beef in grocery stores and retail outlets in the 9 states where they've had outbreaks of H5N1 in dairy herds. I haven't seen any confirmation on any of that. So, it could have been that there were rumors. It could be that it's actually true and we just haven't seen it yet. And it could just be the fact that this market's nervous about what's going on. Cattle markets, markets in general don't like uncertainty. Cattle markets seem to really dislike uncertainty. I think that's just because of the I don't want to say illiquid, but the lower volume compared to maybe corn and soybeans and wheat markets. You just kind of got a low volume trade, but they really don't like uncertainty. And add to that the fact that, while we're not at record, there's just going to be a lot of fidgetiness with traders when you're dealing with these kind of headlines that keep popping up.
So, Tyler, are the hogs in a good spot right now then from a market perspective, like we saw recently with the dairy cattle when that happened, and we saw the headlines about dairy cattle being infected from avian influenza? It did give the hogs a little bit of a boost. Is that going to be the case here, or is there just too much uncertainty all the way around?
I think there's a little uncertainty all the way around. Hogs have done some technical damage on the charts as well. They pushed up to contract highs there early in April, sold off down to the lower level of the channel, went back up to it, and then have just been beat up the last week. And as of right now, have violated the support levels that we would have said we wanted to watch. So maybe it'll catch a rebound. When you go to a grocery store or a meat market and you look at prices, cheaper, and it's just a tougher scenario for the cattle producer to compete against lower priced proteins. And so it should lend some support to the hog market, but bear in mind too that hogs will trade very technically as well, and sometimes fundamentals just don't matter in the hog market, and they're going to trade on those technicals. And Brian Split likes to say hogs tend to put in V tops and V bottoms, which basically means we run up really fast and then we take it all back really fast.
He is Tyler Schau from agmarket.net with our closing market summary. Tyler, what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
Check us out on the internet, agmarket.net. There's a contact page. You can look to see if there's a broker near you.
So you've heard us talk about all of the uncertainty, volatility in the marketplace right now. Make sure you're using all of those resources from agmarket.net. Tyler, thanks so much for the time and have a great rest of your week.
You bet. Take care, Mark.
Thank you to Tyler Schau of agmarket.net for our market summary today. Let's turn now to the closing numbers. You can find those numbers under the markets tab of our website at iowaagnet.com.
May corn closes up 3 3/4 at $4.43 1/4. May soybeans up 10 1/4 at $11.55 3/4. May soybean meal down $3.70 at $3.4260. May soybean oil up 28 cents at $42.57. Chicago wheat down 3 1/2 at $5.81 1/2. Minneapolis wheat down 7 3/4 at $7.02 1/2. Kansas City hard red wheat up 2 3/4 at $6.25 1/2. May oats up 8 even at $3.79 even. On the Merc, June live cattle down $1.12 at $173.85. May feeder cattle down $3.15 at $241.42. May lean hogs down $1.12 at $93.02. May pork cutout down $2.60 at $100.52. And Class 3 milk down 3 pennies at $18.35.
That does it for our market coverage today. Let's take time now to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff. And up next, it is the latest Iowa Ag News headlines.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
And it is time for the latest Iowa Ag News headlines. From cheese curds to chip dust, burgers as big as dinner plates to multiple patty burgers, fresh veggies to cheeses, and sauces to spreads, this year's top 10 Iowa's Best Burger restaurants had it all. However, only one can claim the title of Iowa's Best Burger in 2024, and this year's winner goes to JJ's Tavern and Grill in Ankeny. JJ's Tavern and Grill offers a wide selection of elevated bar food offerings, and there's something for everyone's palate. The Best Burger contest timing is intentional, celebrates the kickoff of Iowa's May Beef Month. And JJ's has several beef options. Today, it's all about the burgers. Their menu currently features 8 smash burger selections. JJ's Tavern and Grill highlighted the JJ Smash Burger, the Brock Curdy Burger, and the Jalapeno Cheddar Burger. Each smash burger can be a single patty or a double. Now, this was the 15th year for the annual Iowa's Best Burger contest, and it had the added excitement of allowing previous winners the chance to be nominated once again. The contest featured 3 previous winners in the list of top 10 contestants. The Best Burger Contest is sponsored by the Iowa Beef Industry Council and the Iowa Cattlemen's Association to showcase the value partnership between Iowa's cattlemen and food service providers through delicious burgers crafted by Iowa's talented chefs and restaurants. U.S. Meat Export Federation marketing staff from around the globe recently met in South Korea, and as USMEF President and CEO Dan Halstrom explains, the group looked at the explosive growth of home meal replacement kits in the country.
One of the main drivers for red meat consumption globally has been the convenience factor. And when I say convenience, I'm talking about home meal replacement, I'm talking about restaurant meal replacement, prepared meal kits, this sort of thing. There's a real demand, and there's no bigger demand than what we've seen in Korea. So the opportunity to have our global staff conference here in Korea was a great opportunity to really roll out these concepts to some of the other countries around the world that maybe haven't seen that demand, at least to the level that they have in Korea.
The growth of home meal replacements in Korea has been driven by consumer demand for convenience, according to USMEF Vice President of Asia Pacific, Ji-Hae Young.
In terms of freshness or the diversified the recipe, it's developed in a way that what Korean consumer wants. So what we want to show this week to the international staff, and then they can get the idea back home and then share what they learned and then develop their own recipe or develop the product that can address their own customers in their market.
USMEF utilizes support from USDA, the Beef Checkoff Program, and the National Pork Board to promote the use of U.S. beef and pork in HMR items in Korea and expanding into other markets where these products are gaining popularity.
One of the real advantages of having a staff conference where you have, 19 regions around the world represented is to share ideas. And there's no doubt that we had enthusiasm around this topic, and saw not only seeing how successful it's been in Korea, but we're in a situation, especially on the beef side, with reduced production. And everybody on the beef side globally is asking, what else do we have to offer? My production's down, I can't get enough of this product, what else can I offer? Well, this is an opportunity to add value into the supply chain, even though we have less production. And I think that's one of the exciting things. Is one of our jobs as MEF is to show options, show alternatives for the marketplace. And this was an awesome opportunity the last few days to show the whole world of USMEF what's going on here with some of these other options, in home meal replacement arena.
Thank you once again to Dan Halstrom and Ji-Hae Young for those comments on the recent trip to Korea. And that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcast, which are on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.